What is going on, guys? It is Danger Dewey here. I would consider myself a pretty cool guy, but what if I told you I wasn't always like that? Now myself, I was pretty cringy when I first joined the fandom. You know, I was a little too overhyped about it. It was a new thing to me and I was really excited. So I think I got a little bit too into it, and there's probably some furries out there that agree that your first year in the fandom is probably going to be your cringiest year in the fandom. So this is going to be my top 5 things that I have done that this is for. This is going to be my top 5 things that I've done as a furry whenever I was growing up that was cringy. Or something like that. I'll work on the title of the video later. Okay, so number 1, this is going to be a pretty obvious one. I think people still do this nowadays. I still kind of do it nowadays, but it's wearing furry stuff in public. Now, whenever I was first kind of getting into the fandom, I got really heavy into Haley Labs, otherwise known as Lapbox Tracks. If you don't know who that is, maybe you have seen the meme going around about a year or 2 ago. It was the penis music meme. It's that artist. So I used to listen to that artist pretty heavily getting into the fandom, and I actually had my grandparents on my mother's side order me some Lapbox shirts. I shit you not, they ordered me a tank top and another shirt that I wore all the fucking time. Now one I could get a little bit away with, the other one was blatantly, very obviously a furry shirt. And I wore those to school. Most people didn't really comment on it. I kind of just got away with it for the most part. They're like, why does it look like that? And I was like, oh, this is from a musician I listen to. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Didn't really question it. But the other thing I did, they questioned the fuck out of that because I used to wear a tail to school. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that now because I'm an adult. I'm out of high school. I don't fucking care. Also, on top of that, while I was in school, a lot of people actually kind of liked it. There was a lot of people that would just be like, oh, can I pet it? Can I mess with it? Blah, 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 blah. And this isn't some big, like, fursuit tail, right? This is some, like, small little tail that I had gotten at, like, a state fair or something like that. But anyways, people liked it, and I had a furry friend that also wore one, and we would wear a tail every Tuesday, and we called it Tail Tuesdays. And then it turned into Tail Thursdays. And then we just started doing it every day. And then people got so used to it, they were just like, whenever we weren't wearing them, they were like, why aren't you wearing them today? Like, those are cool. So I kind of ended up getting known as the guy that wore the tail to school, and a lot of people were really cool with it. And I ended up doing that, I think, all the way up until my senior year of high school, just because, I don't know, fuck it. If I can wear it, I guess I'll wear it. Now, Spaz here has met some family members before. One of my first years going to Tokyo and Tulsa, I actually stayed with my grandparents because they live not too far from the convention center. And of course, I had Spaz with me. Now, they didn't really question it too much. They thought it was kind of weird. I could see it in their face. They gave this weird, I can't make it, obviously. So yeah, I brought the fursuit. I kind of just told them it was a character I made and we were going to an anime convention, and this is like from an anime or something like that. But something I did do the year before, this was my first year in the fandom. This was actually when I first got the tail, and this is what kind of started me to be wearing it. Never had done any furry stuff before, always wanted furry stuff and just never got it. So my first year at TNT, I just got a bunch of art. That's actually where I got the tail. I did not get it at, yeah. I had gotten the tail at TNT. I wore it back to my grandparents, and I did not take it off until the next day after the con. I woke up with it in the morning, and I didn't take it off, and I was just like, oh, whatever. Alright, so number 2 is going to be role-playing. Now, I'm not saying that people that role-play are cringy. I'm not saying that you guys can't role-play if you want to do that or whatever. I'm just saying that whenever I did it, it was kind of cringy. I was very much one of those people that whenever I role-played, I wanted my character to have some sort of ability or something like that. So my character I actually had before Spaz, his ability was he could regenerate limbs. So about every time we roleplayed, there would just be like random events where my fucking character just gets hit by a truck or something, and it's basically like Deadpool, but I didn't even know what Deadpool was. And then Spaz, originally, whenever I would do role plays, role-playing Spaz basically had the same powers as Danny Phantom. Literally could just turn into a ghost. Number 3. Now this one isn't so much cringe, this one is more so just something I wanted to talk about. I was an absolute goblin for furry art whenever I first joined the fandom. I would stay on furry Facebook all the freaking time, waiting for someone to post that they were doing free art, and I would always enter my rep sheet in and try to get free art. You would think this would take a long time, but within the span of a year, I had gained like 70 art pieces of my persona, and this was my original one, not Spaz. Now I will admit some of those were like art trades and stuff like that, but I also wasn't a very good artist, so sometimes the trades were a little uneven, and I honestly appreciate those artists for what they did. I wouldn't be making art today if I hadn't gotten that encouragement, you know. Alright, number 4. So I was openly furry, but in a bad way. Whenever I started telling people I was a furry, I was kind of dramatic about it, and it was a big coming out type of thing. I really didn't think people would accept me for it, and a lot of my friends did, and it was fine, and they're still friends with me today. But I was really nervous. I did not know what to do about it. I was just like figuring this out, and I was like, okay, I like this, I like that, what am I gonna do? What are they gonna think? And of course it kind of like freaked me out. But, you know, really I should have just been like, hey, this is a hobby I have, this is what I kind of like doing this. I know it's a little weird, I hope we can still be friends though. But I was like overly expressive about it. I was drawing artwork in class. I was drawing furry artwork in art class, I remember. It's actually funny. In that high school, I guarantee you there is one of those like ceiling panels that, you know, people like throwing pencils up into all the time in school. There's one of those that has a painting of me out of suit in a like hoodie that is made to look like Spaz. And then my friend, who was not a furry at all, but drew himself as a cat, like a cat person, basically. And so, yeah, that's just immortalized in my school ceiling now. And it kind of brings me joy because I know there's damn well some kids sitting there looking up at that like, God, I hate furries. And as a furry, I do too, though. Alright, number 5. Number 5. This is 5. This is 8. I'm a grown man, I can count. So number 5, these are cringy things that I still do to this day. Now, I still use a lot of the old emoticons like ooh, oh, whoa, :3, all those good fucking classics, you know? Good little sentence enhancers at the end of a sentence whenever you're talking to people in the fandom. I have a lot of like gay little pet names for like friends and stuff like that. You know, a lot of people call me Poss or Possum. You know, I have nicknames for other people and stuff like that. I remember whenever I was actually wearing the tail in high school, a lot of people would give me like fox-related nicknames, which was kind of cool, but also added on top of the cringiness because it also just encouraged me. I do tag work. I'll show a couple here if I have any photos. I usually don't take photos of my stuff. But I'll do tags around my city and stuff like that, and sometimes I'll draw me or my partner's persona. Sometimes I'll just draw like a possum or something like that, but I do a lot of like furry tag work. That's not really cringe, I guess, but I guess it could be considered because, you know, tag artists do a lot of cool, crazy stuff, and I'm out here like, oh, I want to draw me. But yeah, those are 5 cringe things that I did growing up as a furry, and some stuff I still do now. If you have any things that are very similar to this that you would like to talk about down in the comments, please leave a comment down below. And of course, if you aren't subscribed to my channel already, please go do that. I'm going to be having some more videos coming out soon, and yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.